Get your dirty hands off that dress before you stain it.
Excuse me?
You heard me. That dress costs more than your car. Hell, more than your house.
I'm here to purchase.
With what, food stamps? Listen, the McDonald's down the street is hiring if you need work. Your kind doesn't belong here.
I'd like to see your manager.
I am the manager. And you're leaving! Leave! Now!
Marcus.
Get your dirty hands off that dress before you stain it. Brad Thornton's voice slices through the pristine silence of Gucci Beverly Hills like a whip cracking against marble. The sound echoes unnaturally loud beneath the cathedral high ceilings, bouncing off glass cases and polished chrome fixtures that gleam like they've never known imperfection. Conversations die instantly. A pair of wealthy shoppers stiffen mid-step. Sales associate freezes with a folded scarf in her hands. The pregnant black woman stands motionless, her fingers still resting against the silk fabric of a $20,000 evening gown. The material is impossibly smooth, cool beneath her fingertips, glowing softly under the store's curated lighting. For a brief moment, time seems to pause around her. Excuse me? Kesha Washington turns slowly, her movements measured, deliberate. Her 7-month belly is unmistakable beneath her simple, neatly pressed clothes, a visible testament to life, strength, and dignity. Her face is calm, but her eyes sharpen, locking onto the man who spoke as if she were something unwanted tracked in from the street. You heard me, Brad says, his tone dripping with smug certainty. He steps closer, eyes scanning her from head to toe with open disdain, lingering on the fabric of her dress, her shoes, her skin. That dress costs more than your car. Hell, he adds with a humorless smirk, more than your house. I'm here to purchase, Kesha replies evenly. Her voice does not rise, does not tremble. It carries a quiet authority that unsettles him more than shouting ever could. Brad laughs, short and sharp, the sound brittle with contempt. With what? Food stamps? He tilts his head, enjoying the cruelty. Listen, the McDonald's down the street is hiring if you need work. The words land like physical blows, each one striking with calculated precision. A hush settles over the store, thick and suffocating. Kesha's jaw tightens, a muscle pulsing beneath her smooth brown skin, but she refuses to give him the satisfaction of visible hurt. She inhales slowly, grounding herself. I'd like to see your manager, she says. Brad's smile turns cold. I am the manager, he snaps, straightening as if the title itself grants him permission to be cruel. And you're leaving now? When she doesn't move, when she simply stands there pregnant, composed. Unyielding, something ugly flashes across his face. His hand moves before reason can stop it. The sound of skin against skin cracks through the store, loud and unmistakable. Kesha stumbles half a step, shock rippling through her body. She lifts her hand to her burning cheek, eyes wide, not with fear, but disbelief. Slowly, deliberately, she reaches into her purse, pulls out her phone, and taps the screen. Marcus, she whispers. Something in her tone, low, controlled, heavy with meaning, makes Brad's blood run cold. A flicker of doubt stirs in his chest, quickly buried beneath arrogance. What he doesn't know, what he can't possibly imagine in this moment, is that he has just made the single biggest mistake of his life. 48 hours earlier, Brad Thornton's iPhone alarm pierces the silence of his cramped Studio City apartment at 5:30 a.m. The sound is shrill, unforgiving, bouncing off generic white walls that feel closer every morning. Kia furniture fills the space with practical minimalism, telling the quiet story of someone still climbing, still chasing a version of success that always seems one promotion away. He rolls out of his queen-size bed and reaches for his phone, checking for overnight emails from corporate before his feet even hit the floor. 3 unread messages stare back at him, one marked urgent. The sender, Regional Director Patricia Hayes. Brad, Q4 numbers are down 12% across the Beverly Hills location. Corporate is reviewing management positions for 2025. Need immediate improvement in sales metrics. Promotion to regional depends on December performance. PH. The message hits like ice water dumped straight down his spine. 8 years of 70-hour weeks. 8 years of smiling at customers who spend more on a handbag than he makes in 6 months. 8 years of watching lesser managers get promoted while he remains trapped in the same golden cage. He screenshots the email and adds it to a folder labeled motivation. a digital graveyard containing 47 similar messages spanning the last 3 years. Warnings, promises, deadlines that never quite deliver what they dangle. His morning ritual begins with military precision, 20-minute workout in his living room, sweat pooling on cheap laminate flooring. A protein shake mixed with generic powder bought in bulk from Costco. Shower using drugstore shampoo, the scent later masked with expensive cologne samples taken discreetly from the store. The irony isn't lost on him. He sells luxury he cannot afford, surrounded by wealth that remains perpetually out of reach. The drive to Beverly Hills takes 53 minutes in traffic, just enough time for his resentment to ferment. He rehearses conversations with high-value customers, practices his smile in the rearview mirror, adjusting it until it reaches the perfect balance of respectful and confident. The transition from his modest apartment to the gleaming streets of Beverly Hills happens gradually, each mile marking his ascent into a world where he belongs by employment, but never by birth. Gucci Beverly Hills sits like a temple on Rodeo Drive, its floor-to-ceiling windows displaying artifacts of impossible beauty. Brad arrives 30 minutes early, as always, using his security code to disable the alarm system. The silence inside feels sacred. Each piece of merchandise is arranged with museum-quality precision. He walks the perimeter slowly, adjusting handbags by millimeters, ensuring every surface gleams without fingerprints. The opening checklist takes exactly 27 minutes. Inventory against yesterday's sales report. Cash drawer accuracy. Security cameras 12 angles, every blind spot eliminated. He reviews the previous day's customer interaction notes, searching for patterns, missed opportunities. Sarah Carter, his assistant manager, arrives precisely at 8:45. Her punctuality is one of the reasons he trusts her more than the others. Morning, Brad, coffee? She holds up a Starbucks cup, their daily peace offering. Thanks, he says, then adds quietly. Did you see Patricia's email? Her expression shifts instantly. They've worked together long enough for her to read the tension in his posture, the tightness around his eyes whenever corporate pressure closes in. The promotion thing, she says carefully. December decides everything, Brad replies. Can't afford any mistakes. The first customers arrive at 10 o'clock a.m., sharp. Mrs. Whitmore and her daughter Beverly Hills royalty drop $15,000 without blinking. Brad slips seamlessly into performance mode, becoming exactly who they expect him to be. Knowledgeable, deferential, invisible until needed. He watches them browse, calculating commission percentages, wondering if their casual indulgence will be enough to push his numbers into acceptable territory. By noon, the pattern is clear. 6 customers. For sales. $38,000 in revenue, respectable but not exceptional. During his lunch break, Brad sits in the employee break room scrolling through LinkedIn, reading about former colleagues who've escaped retail management for corporate positions. Mark Thompson now works in luxury brand development. Jennifer Liu moved into corporate buying. Everyone, it seems, is advancing except him. You know what the problem is? He says to Sarah as they prepare for the afternoon shift. The clientele is changing. People who can't afford to be here treating this place like a tourist attraction. Sarah stiffens but says nothing. She's learned how to navigate Brad's frustrations without touching the implications beneath them. The afternoon brings a steady stream of browsers, tourists with cameras. Young women posing for Instagram, teenagers whose parents wait impatiently by the door. Each interaction grinds on his nerves. It's just looking. Feels like another reminder of the widening gulf between his expectations and his reality. Hey. At 3 p.m., he reviews security footage from the previous week, a habit that's become obsessive. He studies customer behavior, searching for explanations for declining sales. The footage reveals uncomfortable truths, subtle shifts in his demeanor based on appearance. Microsecond judgments that quietly dictate who receives the full luxury experience and who gets polite dismissal. He tells himself it's efficiency. Reading buyers versus browsers. The employee handbook sits open on his desk, the section on inclusive customer service excellence highlighted. Corporate mandates identical treatment for all customers regardless of appearance, background, or perceived purchasing power. Brad has memorized the policies, recited them in training sessions, signed acknowledgments year after year, but policy and practice diverge in the gray areas. In the split-second decisions that define who belongs and who doesn't, evening cleanup begins at 7 p.m. After the last customer leaves with a satisfied smile and a Gucci shopping bag, Brad counts the register, balances the books, and checks each piece of merchandise against its assigned location. The numbers. The numbers for today look promising. $67,000 in sales, clean transactions, solid margins. Commission percentages that inch Brad closer to his monthly targets. It's close enough that he can almost taste the relief. Almost. The spreadsheet glows back at him from the office monitor. Numbers aligned perfectly, obedient and reassuring. But even as satisfaction flickers briefly in his chest, it dissolves just as fast. It's not enough. It's never enough. The drive home reverses the morning journey, mile by mile. Luxury fading into normalcy, then into mediocrity. Rodeo Drive gives way to congested boulevards, palm-lined streets replaced by cracked sidewalks and aging storefronts. Each red light feels heavier than the last. When he finally pulls into the parking lot of his Studio City apartment complex, the illusion collapses completely. The apartment feels smaller after 10 hours, surrounded by marble, gold fixtures, and polished perfection. The silence inside is not sacred like the stores it's hollow. He drops his keys on the counter, loosens his tie, and stares at his reflection in the microwave door as it hums to life, reheating a plastic container of leftovers. This is the part of the day he never posts online. He eats standing up, eyes scrolling through tomorrow's schedule on his phone, appointment blocks, predicted foot traffic, note about a possible VIP walk-in. He plans approaches for customers he's never met, rehearses responses to objections that may never come, fine-tuning performances like an actor preparing for an audience that doesn't know or care about the effort behind the curtain. Before sleep, Brad sets his alarm for 5:30 a.m. again and checks his corporate email one more time. Still nothing. No new messages. No reassurance. Just the quiet certainty that morning will bring fresh pressure. New targets. Another day of proving his worth to people who see him as entirely replaceable. The promotion to regional represents everything. Escape from customer service, elevation to strategy meetings, quarterly planning, executive respect. The difference between executing orders and giving them, between being tolerated and being listened to. He closes his eyes, mentally rehearsing tomorrow's performance, unaware that his carefully constructed world is about to collide with a force powerful enough to shatter every assumption he's made about power, about control, about who matters and who doesn't, about the cost of treating people as less than human. The next morning will bring a customer who doesn't fit neatly into his predetermined categories. And the judgment call he makes, casual, arrogant, seemingly insignificant, will transform both their lives in ways he cannot possibly imagine. Morning sunlight pours through Gucci's floor-to-ceiling windows, casting sharp geometric shadows across the marble floor. Brad adjusts his tie, smoothing it once, twice, then surveys the store like a general inspecting his troops. Today feels different, charged, alive with possibility. Yesterday's sales exceeded expectations, and Patricia Hayes sent a brief but encouraging email before midnight. Keep this momentum, Regional is watching. The words replay in his mind like a mantra as he takes his position behind the marble counter. Lord of his temporary kingdom, master of this polished domain, at least for now. At exactly 10:47 a.m., Kesha Washington enters the store. Her gait is measured, careful, the way someone walks when carrying precious cargo. Her 7-month pregnancy shows prominently beneath a simple black dress, elegant in its restraint. Comfortable flats move silently across the polished marble as she pauses just inside the threshold, allowing her eyes to adjust to the carefully orchestrated lighting that makes every handbag, every gown, every accessory appear almost divine. Brad's trained gaze catalogs her instantly. No designer handbag, no obvious jewelry. Clothing that suggests middle-class comfort rather than luxury spending power. His internal calculator runs its familiar algorithm. Likely browser. Possible small purchase. It's probably not worth premium attention. Without breaking his neutral expression, he signals Sarah with a subtle tilt of his head, an unspoken directive born of routine. You handle this? Kesha moves through the store with deliberate purpose, her fingers trailing lightly across silk scarves and leather goods. Not with entitlement, but with genuine appreciation. She pauses at the evening gown display, studying seams, structure, craftsmanship. Her eye lingers on details most casual shoppers miss. One hand rests protectively on her belly as she examines a midnight blue gown adorned with hand-sewn crystals. The beadwork is exquisite, she murmurs, more to herself than anyone else. Brad has positioned himself just close enough to hear. Sarah approaches with practiced warmth. Good morning. Can I help you find anything specific today? I'm looking for something elegant for a charity gala this Saturday, Kesha replies, voice calm and assured. Something that accommodates, she gestures gently toward her pregnancy. My current situation, Brad's interest sharpens instantly. Charity galas mean serious money. The kind of rooms his real clients frequent. The kind of events where new purchases are displayed like trophies. But the disconnect between Kesha's appearance and the implied financial commitment triggers his skepticism. He's seen this scenario before, people reaching beyond their economic station, renting dreams they can't afford to own. Our evening collection starts around $8,000, Sarah explains carefully, watching Kesha's reaction. That's fine, Kesha says without hesitation. I'd like to see what you have in size 12, preferably with maternity accommodation. Brad steps forward, territorial instincts flaring. This is his floor, his commission, his decision. Sarah immediately yields, hierarchy asserting itself without words. Ma'am, Brad begins, tone smooth but guarded. I should mention that our evening wear requires significant alterations for maternity fitting. The process typically takes 2 to 3 weeks. He pauses deliberately, glancing at his Rolex. And Saturday is another pause, 4 days away. Kesha's expression doesn't crack. No embarrassment, no apology, just calculation. I understand the timeline, she says. Money isn't the constraint here. The phrase trips every defensive wire in Brad's mind. In his experience, people who announce that money isn't an issue are usually the ones for whom it very much is. Truly wealthy customers never explain. They simply buy. I appreciate your interest, Brad replies coolly, but these pieces require careful consideration. The gown you were examining is $18,000, plus alteration fees, plus rush charges for weekend completion. You're looking at potentially $25,000 for a single evening's wear. I understand the investment, Kesha says evenly. There's something in her voice, quiet authority, that unsettles him. He decides to test her. May I see some identification and a credit card? He asks. Our policy requires verification for purchases above $15,000. It's a lie. No such policy exists. But it's one he's used before, a private filter to separate real buyers from pretenders. Kesha opens her purse without hesitation. She places her driver's license on the counter, followed by a black American Express Centurion card. The metal card catches the boutique's lighting, its distinctive weight and design unmistakable to anyone in luxury retail. Brad's internal calculus shifts violently. Centurion, invitation only, minimum annual spending in the hundreds of thousands. A financial tier reserved for people who never need to explain themselves. He examines the items carefully, searching for flaws, forgery, anything that might restore his certainty. 8. But the license is pristine. Kesha, Washington. Beverly Hills address. One of the most exclusive zip codes in the country. Expiration date 2 years out. For the first time that morning, Brad Thornton feels something cracked beneath his confidence. The Centurion card shows natural wear patterns consistent with regular use. The edges are slightly dulled, the surface bearing faint micro-scratches that only come from years of being slid across marble. Counters and tucked into wallets that move between boardrooms and private lounges. There are no obvious signs of tampering, no duplication markers, nothing that would justify further scrutiny beyond standard procedure. I'll need to verify this card, Brad announces, his tone carrying more authority than the situation warrants, as if the words themselves might reassert control. Of course, Kesha replies, settling into a nearby chair. Her hand automatically moves to support her lower back, the gesture unconscious and practiced. The subtle shift in her posture is unmistakable. The body language of someone genuinely pregnant rather than performing pregnancy for sympathy or leverage. Brad retreats to his office, ostensibly to process the verification, but in truth, to recalibrate. The Centurion card represents legitimate wealth, he knows that, but its presence on someone who doesn't. T Project traditional luxury markers creates cognitive dissonance. His worldview depends on visual cues aligning neatly with economic reality. When they diverge, his training and experience have taught him to default to suspicion rather than adaptation. The verification returns positive within 30 seconds. Available credit, no limit displayed. Recent transaction history, multiple five-figure purchases across luxury retailers in Beverly Hills, New York, and Paris. Payment history, flawless. The data confirms what Brad doesn't want to accept. This customer possesses the financial capacity to purchase anything in his store, possibly several times over. He exhales slowly, jaw tightening as he stares at the screen a moment longer than necessary, as if hoping it might change. When he returns to the sales floor, he finds Kesha studying her phone, fingers moving with efficient precision. She's responding to emails, not scrolling idly. Her posture, the way she multitasks while seated, suggests executive-level responsibility, someone accustomed to making decisions rather than seeking permission. The growing gap between his initial assessment and the accumulating evidence creates tension that Brad resolves in the only way that preserves his internal order, continued skepticism. The card verifies, he says, returning her identification. But I'm concerned about the alteration timeline. These aren't off-the-rack pieces. They require specialized fitting, custom adjustments. Saturday delivery seems unrealistic. Kesha looks up from her phone. For the first time, something hard and unyielding flashes beneath her polite exterior. I'm sure you'll find a way to make it work, she says calmly. The gala is important to me. There's an implication in her tone, subtle, but unmistakable, that what matters to her tends to happen, regardless of inconvenience or resistance. Brad feels the first stirrings of genuine unease. Not just about her money, but about something deeper. Control, authority, influence. The afternoon sun shifts, stretching longer shadows across the boutique's marble floor. Brad becomes aware, suddenly and uncomfortably, that his assumptions about customer categories and social hierarchies are about to be tested in ways he never prepared for. The Centurion card rests on the marble counter like a dark mirror, reflecting crystal light and fractured patterns that make him increasingly uneasy. In 8 years, he's handled these cards maybe a dozen times, and each belonged to customers whose appearance announced their wealth long before the card emerged Hermes bags. Cartier watches, quiet symbols of financial aristocracy. Kesha Washington carries none of them. There seems to be an issue with our card processing system today, Brad says, his voice layered with artificial authority. Technical difficulties with high-limit transactions. Kesha's eyebrows lift slightly, the first visible fracture in her composure. I see, she replies. What would you suggest? The question hangs between them, weighted with implications Brad doesn't yet grasp. Her tone remains professional, controlled. But there's something underneath it, a familiarity with institutional resistance disguised as procedure. Perhaps a secondary form of payment, Brad offers, improvising? Or we could schedule the purchase for when our systems are fully operational. He watches closely, expecting frustration, defensive explanations, retreat, confirmation of his bias. Instead, Kesha opens her purse and calmly produces another card, then another. A Platinum American Express, a Chase Sapphire Reserve. Finally, a Goldman Sachs private client card Brad has never seen in person. Will any of these work with your system? She asks mildly. The lineup of premium cards spreads across the counter, an unmistakable display of wealth that should compel immediate deference. Yet their presence only deepens Brad's resistance. The problem isn't the money, it's that her existence contradicts the hierarchy he relies on. The issue isn't the card, Brad says, his lie growing more elaborate. It's the processing threshold. Corporate has implemented new security protocols for transactions above 20,000. Enhanced verification requirements. Kesha shifts in her chair, one hand bracing her lower back, the other resting protectively on her pregnant belly. The movement highlights her vulnerability in this moment of manufactured obstruction. Any reasonable person would offer assistance. A chair adjustment. A glass of water. Brad notices and ignores it. What verification do you need, she asks. Employment documentation, Brad replies smoothly. Recent tax returns? Bank statements showing sufficient liquidity. Standard protocols for high-value purchases. Each requirement is fiction. No luxury retailer demands tax returns at a counter. These rules exist only in his imagination, deployed as weapons to discourage customers who don't meet his arbitrary standards. Without comment, Kesha pulls out her phone and begins typing with swift professional efficiency. "Should I have my accountant send the documents directly?" she asks. "Or would you prefer I handle the transfer myself?" The response collapses Brad's strategy instantly. Customers with accountants who can produce same-day documentation exist in a financial realm far beyond pretense. And for the first time, Brad Thornton realizes he may not be the one controlling this interaction at all. His manufactured obstacles are being met with resources he didn't anticipate. Not improvisation, not bluffing, actual solutions that suggest depth of wealth rather than surface pretension. Each attempt to slow her down only reveals another layer of access. Another signal that she operates in a world far beyond casual aspiration. "That won't be necessary," Brad says quickly, recognizing that his deception has reached its sustainable limit. "Let me check with corporate about expediting the verification process." He retreats to his office again, ostensibly to make official inquiries, but in truth to regroup, to reclaim psychological ground, to develop a new approach that restores the hierarchy he believes should exist. Through the glass partition, he watches Kesha respond to what appear to be urgent business communications. Her manner is efficient, controlled, brief messages, decisive pauses. The kind of communication style that signals others are waiting on her response rather than the reverse. The contradiction between her modest appearance and unmistakable professional authority doesn't enlighten Brad. It frustrates him. His worldview depends on predictability, on the idea that power announces itself visibly. When it doesn't, he experiences it not as complexity, but as threat. Sarah approaches his office door, hesitation written plainly across her face. "I'm handling it," he replies curtly, eyes never leaving Kesha through the glass. She sees courtesy and composure. He sees deception wrapped in confidence, or at least that's what he tells himself. When he returns to the showroom, Kesha has moved on. She's examining a collection of handbags displayed in a secured alcove. Pieces that represent the store's highest margins and most carefully curated inventory. She handles each bag with practiced care, fingertips assessing stitching consistency, leather grain, hardware weight. Her evaluation is methodical, informed. "These are beautiful," she says, lifting a limited edition piece slightly to examine its balance. "The artisanship is exceptional. That particular bag has a waiting list," Brad interjects immediately. "It's reserved for our established clientele." The lie deploys itself almost automatically. The bag is available, no list, no delay. But Brad's territorial instincts override logic. Exclusivity, in his experience, is a useful test. Serious buyers push back, pretenders retreat. "I understand," Kesha replies. "Perhaps you could add me to the waiting list." Her response again defies his expectations. No challenge, no credential flex. Just calm acceptance of a system she clearly recognizes. It's the reaction of someone familiar with allocation processes and delayed gratification in luxury markets. "That would require establishing a purchase history first," Brad continues, stacking fiction atop fiction. "The waiting list prioritizes customers with significant annual spending." Before she can respond, Kesha's phone vibrates. She glances at the screen, and for the first time, her composure shifts, not toward anxiety, but toward focused attention. "Excuse me," she says. "I need to take this." She moves toward the boutique entrance for privacy. Brad watches through the window as she engages in what quickly becomes a complex business conversation. Her posture straightens, her gestures sharpen. She speaks with authority, emphasizing points, issuing direction rather than receiving it. This is not a negotiation between equals. This is command. The call lasts several minutes. When she returns, something has subtly changed. The politeness remains, but the patience has thinned. "I apologize for the interruption," she says. "Business doesn't always respect personal schedules." "What kind of business?" Brad asks, curiosity finally breaking through his practiced detachment. Kesha smiles for the first time since entering the store. It's not warm, it's not cold, it's knowing. The kind that values efficiency, she replies, and respects people's time. The words land heavier than intended. Brad feels a tan, inexplicable tightening in his chest, sense that the ground beneath his assumptions is shifting. Outside, traffic builds on Rodeo Drive. Engines hum, footsteps pass. The machinery of Beverly Hills commerce continues, oblivious to the quiet collision forming inside the boutique. The atmosphere inside Gucci Beverly Hills has grown thick with unspoken tension, like the air before a thunderstorm. Brad's manufactured obstacles have created a standoff neither of them seems willing to abandon. Kesha stands near the evening gown display, one hand resting protectively on her pregnant belly. Brad positions himself subtly between her and the merchandise, posture rigid, as though guarding sacred relics from unworthy access. Across the showroom, Sarah watches from behind the accessories counter, discomfort tightening her expression. 8 years in luxury retail have taught her to recognize dangerous moments when ego overrides judgment. When prejudice masquerades as professionalism, every warning sign is present. Corporate escalation, customer complaint, legal exposure. Her instincts scream at her to intervene, but Brad's authority keeps her frozen. "Ma'am," Brad says finally, voice edged with false finality, "I think we've reached an impasse. Our verification processes are quite thorough, and rushing them would compromise our security protocols." The lie flows smoothly, polished by years of institutional gatekeeping. Corporate language masks personal bias. Policy becomes a weapon, discrimination reframed as procedure. Kesha turns slowly. Something in the movement signals a decision. Not the frustrated retreat Brad expects, but a shift toward a different kind of engagement altogether. Kesha straightens, despite the strain of her pregnancy, and the movement is subtle, yet commanding. It's as if something ancient and unshakable rises within her. An authority drawn from a deep reservoir of confidence that Brad has consistently underestimated. The air around her seems to change, thickening with resolve. "I understand you have procedures," she says calmly, professionally. "But I also understand when those procedures are being selectively applied." The accusation hangs in the boutique like a blade suspended midair, sharp and undeniable. It cuts through Brad's pretense with surgical precision. Heat floods his chest, the familiar anger surfacing, the anger he always feels when his authority is questioned by people he believes don't understand the complexity of his position. 8 years. 8 years mastering luxury retail. 8 years balancing corporate pressure and customer demands. 8 years developing instincts meant to separate serious buyers from time wasters. That experience is his armor, and he feels it cracking. "I don't appreciate the implication," he snaps, his professional mask slipping. "I treat all customers according to the same standards. Do you?" The question lands with devastating simplicity. Kesha's eyes don't waver. She's been watching him all morning, cataloging what he dismisses as routine business practice. She saw him defer instantly to customers who carried obvious markers of wealth. Observed the respect and ease with which service flowed toward them without verification or resistance. Through the boutique's expansive windows, Rodeo Drive continues its parade of privilege. Mrs. Whitmore exits Harry Winston across the street, smiling, distinctive shopping bag swinging lightly at her side. Whatever she purchased likely exceeded Kesha's intended budget several times over, yet her experience was seamless, unquestioned. 2 luxury customers, 2 radically different treatments, same street, same hour, same industry. "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave," Brad says, his voice rising as control slips through his fingers. "You're disrupting other customers. The store is empty." The lie is obvious, desperate, a naked attempt to reclaim dominance. Brad's rational judgment has been consumed by his territorial instincts. Turning customer service into a power struggle, he's determined to win at any cost. "I'm not disrupting anyone," Kesha replies, her composure unbroken. "I'm trying to make a purchase." "A purchase you clearly can't afford," Brad snaps. The words escape before training can restrain them. The final barrier collapses, exposing the prejudice that has guided his decisions from the moment she walked in. "This isn't a place for people like you to play pretend. Sarah gasps audibly from across the store. She knows exactly what just happened. Discrimination, explicit, unmistakable. Grounds for immediate termination. Civil liability, and a corporate crisis that could ripple far beyond this boutique. Careers end over sentences like that. Kesha's expression remains steady, but something in her eyes hardens. It's not anger, recognition. She's heard these words before. In boardrooms, at networking events, in subtle tones wrapped in polite language. She's learned to navigate a world where her appearance triggers assumptions, her accomplishments continuously dismantle. The familiar sting washes over her, but beneath it flows something colder, sharper. People like me? She asks quietly. Brad realizes too late that he's crossed a line, but instead of retreating, he doubles down. The pride seals his mouth against the apology that could still save him. People who don't belong in establishments like this, he says, voice rising. People who think they can fake their way into circles above their station. His words echo off marble and glass, amplified by acoustics meant to glorify luxury, not contain ugliness. Sarah takes a step forward, instinct screaming for intervention. Brad, maybe we should stay out of this, Sarah, he orders sharply. I'm handling it. His authority over her becomes the last refuge of his wounded ego. Kesha steps forward, not aggressively, but deliberately. The movement is controlled, resolute. Her pregnancy makes it more powerful, highlighting the vulnerability of someone who should be receiving care rather than hostility. The image is striking. A pregnant woman facing down institutional prejudice in a temple of excess. You have no idea who you're talking to, she says. I know exactly who I'm talking to. Brad fires back, anger obliterating self-preservation. Someone who thinks flashing fake credit cards and attitude will earn respect she hasn't earned. The accusation of fraud crosses a legal boundary, transforming the encounter from poor service into potential defamation. Sarah recognizes it instantly and pulls out her phone not to call security, but to document. This is no longer recoverable. This is evidence. Kesha reaches into her purse and retrieves her phone. For a moment, her professional armor slips. She looks tired, pregnant, human, dealing with physical discomfort, hormones, and humiliation over what should have been a simple shopping trip. I'm going to make a phone call, she says quietly. When I'm finished, you're going to wish you had treated me with basic human decency. Brad laughs. It's a hollow, contemptuous sound utterly devoid of humor. He has no idea what he's just set in motion. Lady, I don't care who you think you know. It's my store, my rules. My decision about who gets to shop here. The word my land's wrong. Kesha's eyebrows lift, not in fear, not in anger, but with genuine, almost amused disbelief. Your store? She repeats softly. Interesting perspective. She begins dialing. Something about the way she does it, unhurried, precise, practiced, sends a quiet warning crawling up Brad's spine. This isn't panic dialing. This isn't calling a friend to complain. This is activation. It's a posture of someone who is used to power responding immediately. Don't waste my time with whatever performance you're planning, Brad says, but the edge in his voice betrays him. Certainty is gone now, replaced by the brittle bravado of a man who senses the ground shifting beneath his feet. Kesha steps toward the entrance, instinctively seeking space and privacy for the call. Brad moves. He steps directly into her path. Not subtly, not accidentally. He squares his shoulders and blocks her a full-bodied assertion of dominance over a visibly pregnant woman. A choice. A defining one. You're not going anywhere until we resolve this, he snaps, adrenaline shaking his voice as he mistakes intimidation for authority. Outside the boutique, faces gather, shoppers slow. Phones rise. Through the glass, it looks unmistakable. A store manager, harassing a pregnant customer. The optics are catastrophic. Sarah feels it to the sick certainty that this moment will not disappear. This will live. Online. Forever. Kesha looks up at Brad. Her patience drains away, replaced by something colder. Final move, she says. The single word carries command, not request. Make me, Brad fires back, the childish taunt shattering any illusion of professionalism he had left. Kesha takes one step forward, not aggressive, not rushed, resolved. Brad's hand moves before his mind can stop it. Crack. The sound explodes through the marble boutique like a gunshot. Time freezes. SAR gasps. Pedestrians outside flinch. Phones capture everything. Security cameras blink, impartial and eternal. Ash. Kasha brings her hand to her cheek. Heat blooms across her skin. She doesn't cry. She doesn't scream. Brad stares at his own hand in horror, as if it belongs to someone else, someone reckless enough to end his life in a single motion. In the dead silence, Kesha pulls out her phone. She speed dials. When Marcus White King answers, she speaks only 4 words. Someone made a mistake. 34 floors above Manhattan, inside the Goldman Sachs Tower, power hums softly. Marcus White King sits behind a curved desk, carved from a single slab of Brazilian rosewood. 6 monitors glow before him: global markets, crypto flows, forex volatility, algorithms bending entire economies with quiet efficiency. At 34, Marcus doesn't chase money, moves it. 47 billion in managed assets is only the surface. Beneath it lies influence: digital, financial, political applied with surgical precision. Nacious wobble when he adjusts strategy. His phone shows 17 missed calls. He ignores them all. Then Kesha's name appears. He answers before the first ring finishes. "Hey, beautiful," he says, warmth instantly replacing the ice he uses on the world. "How's shopping going? Someone just put their hands on me." The air leaves his lungs. Everything inside Marcus goes, still muscles locked, jaw tight, a lethal calm settling over him. In 5 years together, Kesha has endured slights, assumptions, quiet disrespect. But this crosses into a realm that awakens something ancient, where he asks, "Who?" Gucci Beverly Hills. The manager Brad something. "I'm fine. The baby's fine." She shouldn't have to say that. Shouldn't have to reassure him while holding herself together. Marcus closes his eyes. He sees hers 7 months pregnant, is trying to buy something simple for their charity, Gala standing alone in a luxury store, while entitlement turned violent. "I'll handle it," he says softly. "Go home now." The call ends. Marcus doesn't raise his voice. He types. Within seconds, Brad Michael Thornton's life unfolds across his screens, age 38. Employment history, credit lines, debt ratios, family ties, digital habits. Every weakness mapped, every lever visible. Marcus reaches for his secure phone, the one that doesn't ring unless consequences are about to happen. He exhales once. Cold, focused, controlled. Violence is crude. Money, properly applied, is permanent. "Jimmy, I need a complete workup on someone. Everything." Marcus doesn't look up as he speaks. Dot. His eyes scan Brad's profile on one screen while his fingers keep moving across another. Breaching databases most law enforcement agencies will never even know exist. Financial records, employment history, asset trails, insurance policies, debt structures. Every dollar, traced backward and forward. "I want to know where every cent came from," Marcus adds calmly, "and where it's trying to hide." The response returns in minutes. Brad Michael Thornton. Annual income, $68,000 plus commission. Investments, modest, cautious, painfully ordinary. What? Predictable car loan, credit cards, small personal line of credit. Parents, Pasadena homeowners. Property valued at roughly $800,000. Sister, marketing. Ex-wife. Minor settlement 3 years ago. No offshore accounts. No secret cushions. No protection. A life balanced on thin margins. Marcus exhales through his nose. A perfectly average man who just touched the wrong world. He opens another application, one that doesn't exist on compliance lists. Currency markets that live beyond regulation, beyond oversight, beyond morality. His hands move with surgical certainty, initiating sequences that will never be traced back to intent-only outcome. Brad Thornton's collapse will not be loud. It will be administrative. The first strike hits Brad's credit. A few keystrokes unleash algorithmic trades that generate artificial debt signals, phantom obligations that propagate through reporting agencies as legitimate financial activity. Within 45 minutes, Brad's credit score plummets nearly 200 points. Auto triggers fire, loan reviews, interest rate recalculations, account freezes pending verification. Brad won't understand it at first. He'll assume it's a glitch. It won't be. Marcus pivots to real estate databases, dissecting the ownership structure of Brad's apartment building. The property sits inside a holding company propped up by commercial loans from 3 banks. Marcus owns significant equity in 2. The third answers to him through crypto-backed leverage positions that keep its liquidity breathing. A handful of conversations, polite, professional, irreversible introduce irregularities into the building's financing. Audits are scheduled, compliance flags raised. Tenant relocations become necessary. Brad will receive a notice, vacate within 30 days. Marcus's phone vibrates. Home safe. Love you. Kesha. The message steadies him but sharpens his focus. This isn't revenge. Revenge is emotional, sloppy, temporary. This is consequence. A man who strikes a pregnant woman does not deserve stability, does not deserve access, does not deserve trust. Marcus opens 3 encrypted channels to private investigation firms that specialize in corporate due diligence, the kind used quietly before acquisitions or executive firings. By nightfall, they'll deliver exhaustive reports on Brad's professional behavior. Every complaint, every pattern, every quietly ignored incident that now forms a narrative. His final call is deliberate. Patricia Hayes, Gucci Regional Director. They've never met, but Marcus's firm manages pension exposure for multiple luxury retail portfolios. His political donations have supported trade policies that benefit their international supply chains. Leverage without fingerprints. Patricia, Marcus says evenly, this is Marcus Washington. I believe we share several mutual interests in the luxury retail space. 3 minutes. No threats, no demands, just facts. My wife, 7 months pregnant, was assaulted today by a manager at your Beverly Hills location. His name is Brad Thornton. I trust you'll review the footage. Silence, and professionalism snaps into place. Patricia assures him an internal investigation will begin immediately. Security footage. Witness interviews. Legal exposure assessment. Incidents involving pregnant women are radioactive. No luxury brand survives mishandling them. Marcus ends the call. Systems are already moving, now financial, legal, reputational, each one indifferent, automated, unstoppable. Brad struck his wife. But what's coming won't look personal. It will look like policy. His intercom buzzes. Mr. Washington, your wife is on line 1. Marcus switches instantly. His voice softens like a door closing behind him. How are you feeling? Tired, Kesha says.
Angry.
But okay. A pause. Did you do what I think you did? Marcus smiles for the first time since the incident. I've been analyzing market trends all afternoon, he replies lightly. Not a lie, just incomplete truth. Kesha exhales. She knows him. Knows what disappears when it threatens her dignity. Outside his office windows, Los Angeles sprawls like a living circuit board. Millions of lives connected by invisible systems of money and consequence. Somewhere within that grid, Brad Thornton's life is unraveling. One algorithm at a time. At 2:47 p.m., the first ripple breaks the surface. A TikTok upload. 30 seconds long. Posted by 18-year-old Madison Carter, who had been window shopping when she saw the confrontation unfold through Gucci's floor-to-ceiling glass. The video captures everything. The block, the step forward, the slap. The sound is unmistakable. By the time Brad checks his phone again, the world already knows who he is. Kesha's stunned reaction dominates the frame. The camera catches it perfectly, the microsecond where disbelief overrides pain, where the mind struggles to reconcile reality with what just happened. Her hand rises slowly to her cheek. Not dramatic, not performative, just shock. The boutique falls into a frozen, unnatural silence, broken only by the faint hum of climate control and the distant traffic of Rodeo Drive. Madison Carter's caption appears beneath the footage like a match dropped into gasoline. Oh my God, this manager just slapped a pregnant black woman at Gucci Beverly Hills. Justice Gucci Beverly Hills pregnant and attacked. Within 17 minutes, the video crosses 4,000 views. The algorithm notices, not because of the numbers, but because of the behavior. Rapid replays, full-length watches, emotional comments typed in all caps. Shares sent privately with messages like you need to see this, and this is sick. TikTok's recommendation engine classifies it as high arousal moral content. the kind that converts passive scrolling into active outrage. The push begins. The video lands on feeds curated for users who engage with social justice, luxury retail, pregnancy content, and viral injustice clips. Each demographic amplifies it for a different reason, creating overlapping waves instead of a single spike. At 3:15 p.m., Sarah Carter's phone vibrates violently in her apron pocket. A text from a coworker. "Sarah, is this your store?" "This is everywhere right now." She taps the link. Her sister's video now shows 48,912 views. Climbing, Sarah's stomach drops. Recognizes everything. The lighting, the angle, Brad's posture, Kesha's stillness after the slap. She remembers standing frozen behind the counter, knowing something was wrong but lacking the authority to stop it. In that moment, silence felt like obedience. Now, it feels like guilt. The video mutates. The creator, named Justice for All, uploads a split-screen remix. On the left, archived footage of Brad smiling, laughing, bending policy for visibly wealthy white customers. On the right, his raised voice, his physical dominance, the slap, no narration needed. The contrast is devastating. Instagram catches the scent next. A luxury lifestyle influencer with 2.3 million followers reposts the clip to her story. This is exactly why representation matters in luxury retail. How many women experienced this, but didn't have it recorded? Hashtags Bloom, hashtag Gucci accountability, hashtag luxury, for all her. The post carries the story into Gucci's actual customer base. The people whose spending reports get discussed in boardrooms. Twitter still chaotic, still powerful ignites next. The hashtag Gucci Beverly Hills begins climbing the trending ladder, generating 17,000 tweets in the first hour. Not memes, not jokes, sustained outrage, long threads, screenshots, calls for boycotts. At 4:22 p.m., the story crosses a threshold. Actress and activist Xenia tweets, "Pregnant women deserve safety and respect, not violence. Period. At Gucci, what are you doing about this?" Her 47 million followers receive the alert instantly. This is no longer viral, it's news. By 4:45 p.m., the Beverly Hills Police Department's social media monitoring system flags the clip. Sergeant Martinez watches it 3 times, each replay confirming the same conclusion. Clear assault, clear victim vulnerability, clear public interest. Protocol activates. Incident reports begin forming. Patrol units are dispatched to the Gucci location, not as a courtesy, but as obligation. At 5 p.m. Eastern, Gucci's New York headquarters locks down a conference room. Chief Marketing Officer Alina Rodriguez scrolls silently as metrics bleed red across her tablet. Communications Director Michael Torres tracks engagement velocity, not slowing, accelerating. "This is our worst-case scenario," Rodriguez says finally. "Explicit discrimination. Caught on camera. Pregnant woman." She scrolls again. Verified accounts, high spenders, longtime clients. "We're looking at boycott threats from our highest value demographics." Patricia Hayes joins the call from Los Angeles. "I've reviewed the security footage," she says evenly. The customer remained composed. The manager escalated without justification and committed assault. "Oh, we have no defensible position," no one argues. Meanwhile, the internet digs. Reddit's public freakout thread explodes 12,000 comments in 2 hours. Amateur investigators comb through Brad's digital footprint. Old reviews resurface. Prior complaints alleging attitude, dismissiveness, selective service, patterns emerge. YouTube creators pile on. Reaction videos, legal breakdowns. Sociological analysis. Social Justice Daily uploads a 15-minute essay, "The Psychology of Retail Racism. Why Luxury Stores Enable Discrimination?" By evening, it hits 300,000 views. At 6 p.m., KTLA leads with the story. Pregnant woman assaulted at Gucci Beverly Hills. The TikTok clip plays on television screens across Los Angeles, followed by interviews with discrimination attorneys outlining civil liability, criminal exposure, and corporate negligence. The shift is complete. This is no longer content, it's consequence. Brad Thornton remains blissfully unaware until 6:30 p.m. when his phone erupts. Texts, missed calls, notifications stacking faster than he can read them. His Facebook timeline floods with rage. His Instagram comments turn hostile. His LinkedIn, once carefully curated, becomes a wall of professional condemnation. The world has found him. And it isn't done yet. The backlash hits Brad in waves first, loud, then suffocating. The comments range from furious but articulate condemnation to explicit threats that make his hands shake as he scrolls. Screenshots, doxing attempts, people tagging his employer, his landlord, his family. By 7 p.m., he locks his Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn profiles. The digital equivalent of barricading doors that are already being kicked in, it doesn't help. His apartment buzzer starts ringing, once, twice. Again, through the narrow window of his living room. Brad sees camera tripods unfolding on the sidewalk like mechanical insects. A KTLA van. A freelance reporter adjusting a microphone. A producer pointing up toward his floor. His building, once anonymous, forgettable, has become a media staging ground. Neighbors gather in the hallway, whispering. One woman stares too long, then pulls out her phone. Another points toward his door, recognition dawning with a mix of curiosity and disgust. Brad steps back, heart pounding, the walls suddenly feeling thin, fragile. It's unable to protect him from the world he ignited. Inside Gucci, Patricia Hayes' investigation moves with ruthless efficiency. Security footage doesn't just confirm the TikTok clip, it deepens the damage. Multiple angles show Brad's escalating hostility, his body language, his positioning between Kesha and the merchandise, his refusal to de-escalate. Sarah's rigid posture behind the counter, her hands clasped tightly, her eyes darting in visible distress. There is no ambiguity. At 7:15 p.m., Gucci releases a preliminary statement across all official channels. We are aware of the disturbing incident at our Beverly Hills location and are conducting a full investigation. The behavior shown does not reflect our values or standards. We are committed to providing respectful service to all customers and will take appropriate action based on our findings. The response detonates online. Investigating what? Fire him. Press charges. This isn't a customer service, issue its assault. The carefully neutral language reads as cowardice, as corporate insulation. The statement doesn't calm the outrage, it sharpens it. By 8 p.m., the financial consequences surface. In after-hours trading, Kering Gucci's parent company drops 2.3% on elevated volume. Institutional investors recognize the danger immediately. Luxury brands survive on aspiration, inclusivity, and image. The viral footage shatters all three. This isn't a PR bruise, it's a structural crack. Celebrities weigh in, and the dam breaks. Cardi B, visibly pregnant, posts a raw Instagram video. Any brand that lets their employees put hands on pregnant women don't deserve our money, period. Millions see it. Other celebrities follow models, actors, athletes, sharing boycott messages, tagging Gucci, demanding accountability. What began as moral outrage transforms into organized economic pressure. By 9 p.m. Pacific. Hashtag Gucci boycott trends alongside hashtag Gucci Beverly Hills. Users post screenshots of deleted shopping apps, canceled orders, returned items. Influencers announce pause partnerships. Stylists quietly remove Gucci from upcoming shoots. Money starts moving. Local organizers seize the momentum. The Beverly Hills Justice Coalition announces a demonstration outside the store for the following morning. Flyers circulate digitally within minutes. Meeting points. Media advisories. Hashtags ready. The story now has a future. At 9:30 p.m., Sarah Carter makes her choice. She posts a long Instagram statement. She confirms the video's authenticity, describes Brad's behavior, admits her own failure to intervene, explaining the power dynamics that froze her in place. She apologizes publicly, plainly, without excuses. Her statement lands like gasoline on credibility, an insider witness. The wildfire intensifies. By midnight, international outlets pick up the story. British tabloids, European news sites, Asian social platforms. The narrative shifts again, not just an American scandal, but a symbol of systemic arrogance exported by luxury culture. 30 seconds of footage now spans continents. While the internet burns, Marcus Washington's war room hums. 3 additional analysts join him in the secure conference suite, encrypted laptops, polarized windows. White noise generators masking every word. This is not Rajat's execution. Dr. Jennifer Kim, his chief algorithmic strategist, projects Brad Thornton's complete financial life onto the wall. 8 years of data. Every loan, every payment, every insurance policy, every fragile balance. What emerges isn't power, it's fragility. Standard middle-class debt structure, Dr. Kim reports, highlighting red fault lines across the map. No redundancy. No buffers. One disruption collapses the system. Marcus watches silently. Brad struck a pregnant woman believing himself untouchable. Now his life exists as a spreadsheet of vulnerabilities, and the night is far from over. Mortgage with 18% equity. 3 revolving credit cards carrying a combined balance of $47,000. Auto loan 31 months remaining at 6.9% interest. Dr. Jennifer. Kim doesn't look up from the screen as she speaks. To her, these aren't numbers, they're pressure points. Debt-to-income ratio sits at 42%, she continues. Technically acceptable, functionally fragile. Marcus studies the projection with the detached focus of a predator assessing prey. Brad Thornton's entire sense of security rests on one assumption. Tomorrow will look like today. Same paycheck, same access to credit, same institutions treating him as low risk, low priority, invisible. Remove that assumption, and the system eats him alive. He has no margin, Marcus says quietly. It's one disruption, and the algorithms do the rest. Dr. Kim nods. Late fees trigger interest hikes. Interest hikes trigger utilization spikes. Utilization spikes trigger automated reviews. Reviews trigger account freezes. Cascades fast. Marcus leans back. Family money? As Dr. Kim switches screens. Property records, probate filings, tax assessments, corporate ownership trees bloom across the wall. Parents own a Pasadena home valued around $800,000, she explains, but it's leveraged. Home equity line of credit opened 3 years ago. It's drawn against regularly to maintain lifestyle obligations. Sister's income is stable, but modest. No significant liquid reserves. She pauses, then adds, grandmother's trust was exhausted in 2019. Medical costs. Marcus exhales slowly, a sound halfway between understanding and contempt. Appearance without substance, he says. Inherited confidence. No inherited cushion. The Thornton family represents a familiar Los Angeles archetype, without liquidity. People who remember being wealthy and behave accordingly, even as the math no longer supports the posture. Entitlement outliving capital. Begin with credit disruption, Marcus orders. Dr. Kim's fingers hover. Parameters. I want to score below 500 within 4 hours, Marcus replies. No brute force, no flags. Legitimate algorithmic adjustments only. This is where expertise matters. Dr. Kim initiates a sequence that looks mundane to any automated system. Utility deposits tied to addresses Brad once searched online. Subscription services aligned with his demographic profile. Insurance add-ons inferred from vehicle ownership data. Medical payment plans coded as secondary insurance discrepancies. Nothing dramatic. Nothing illegal. Everything cumulative. Each micro-obligation slips past fraud detection thresholds but pushes utilization just high enough. Penalty fees stack. Available credit shrinks. Interest recalculates in real time. The system does what it was designed to do. Punish instability. Robert Torres, Marcus's second analyst, shifts focus to employment risk. His screens display internal, luxury, retail analytics promotion, pipelines, disciplinary heat maps, termination probabilities. Gucci's already in crisis posture, Robert says. Zero tolerance framework engaged. Discrimination plus assault plus viral exposure equals immediate separation. Accelerate it, Marcus replies. I want them confident this isn't an anomaly. Robert doesn't need clarification. The documentation already exists. Customer complaints buried in CRM systems. HR notes labeled resolved. Internal footage never meant for external eyes. Marcus's intelligence network harvested it months ago during routine due diligence sweeps. Brad Thornton was never a target, just background data until today. Now that background becomes indictment. Encrypted messages flow in from 3 private investigation firms running parallel tracks. Professional history. Behavioral escalation. Psychological profiling. Diana Walsh, former FBI Financial Crimes, summarizes first. Pattern established, she reports. Escalating aggression over 2 years correlates with stalled promotion prospects and increased managerial pressure. To prior complaints, both minority customers, both documented. No formal discipline. Marcus smiles thinly. Send everything to Patricia Hayes, he says. Make it look organic. The files are routed through channels designed to resemble whistleblowers, concerned employees, anonymous customers. No fingerprints. Just truth arriving at the right moment. Next, Marcus continues, housing. Dr. Kim pulls up property records. Brad's apartment is owned by Meridian Properties, she says. REIT. 47 buildings, conservative risk posture, highly sensitive to tenant credit ratings. Marcus nods. Then when his score drops, he says calmly, their system will flag him before he even knows what happened. He stands, looking out over Los Angeles, the city glowing, unaware. Brad Thornton believed power lived behind a marble counter. Believed authority came from uniforms and policies and the ability to say no. He never understood the real hierarchy. And tonight, quietly, invisibly, the systems he trusted are turning on him, one compliant algorithm at a time. Marcus's hedge fund holds preferred shares in Meridian Properties, acquired 2 years earlier as part of a conservative real estate diversification strategy. The position comes with voting privileges and quiet influence, nothing dramatic, nothing obvious, just access. The call to Meridian's CEO lasts 90 seconds. Marcus doesn't mention Brad Thornton. He doesn't need to. Instead, he frames the conversation around risk exposure, the language executives understand instinctively. He references recent news cycles involving retail employees accused of discrimination and assault, noting how viral incidents can metastasize into civil lawsuits, protests, media scrutiny, and tenant dissatisfaction. From a liability standpoint, Marcus says evenly, it's worth asking whether tenants associated with public discrimination incidents pose reputational or safety risks to other residents. That's it. No threats, no demands. Just a question that lingers. By the end of the call, the seed is planted. Meridian's compliance team will interpret the concern as prudent governance. Policy revisions will follow enhanced tenant screening, expanded background checks, stricter credit thresholds, behavioral risk assessments, tied to public records and media monitoring. All framed as portfolio protection. Brad's lease renewal is due in 6 weeks. It won't survive scrutiny. Marcus's cryptocurrency operations provide a second axis of pressure, quieter but more suffocating. The First National Bank of Beverly Hills, where Brad maintains his primary checking account, processes settlement flows for several crypto exchanges indirectly controlled by Marcus through layered entities in privacy-friendly jurisdictions. A handful of strategically timed transactions create temporary volatility in those settlement pipelines. Nothing illegal, nothing sustained, just enough to trigger internal alarms. The bank's automated compliance systems do the rest. Brad's profile lights up across multiple risk indicators at once: declining credit score, viral media exposure tied to violence allegations, potential civil litigation, anomalous transaction patterns adjacent to crypto settlement activity. The algorithms don't accuse, they restrict. Enhanced monitoring is applied automatically. Transactions over $500 are frozen pending review. Direct deposits are placed on hold until source verification clears. In-person identity confirmation is required for meaningful account access. Brad still technically has money, just can't touch it. Dr. Kim provides updates as the night deepens. If instability is detected, accelerated payment demands become an option. No confrontation, no explanation, just notifications. Marcus opens secure channels to 3 civil rights law firms with established records against multinational retailers. He doesn't pitch. He simply mentions a potential federal discrimination case involving a pregnant client and viral video evidence. That's all it takes. By morning, Kesha will receive calls offering pro bono representation, framing her experience not as an unfortunate incident, but as a landmark civil rights claim with national implications. Robert Torres delivers his update. Gucci Legal has scheduled an emergency meeting for 8 o'clock a.m. Patricia Hayes is aligning HR and compliance. Termination is no longer a question-only documentation. Marcus nods. Make sure they understand the importance of detail, he says. Patterns, prior warnings, institutional knowledge. The goal isn't just dismissal, it's permanence. Brad's personnel file will read like a roadmap of liability customer complaints. Behavioral flags, insufficient remediation. Gucci will distance itself aggressively, cooperating fully with investigators to protect the brand. Brad becomes expendable. Finally, the insurance layer activates. Risk assessment databases ingest the viral footage. Auto insurers flag Brad's profile for review. Assault allegations, especially involving a pregnant victim, signal heightened liability exposure. Premium adjustments follow, then cancellations. By the time Brad understands what's happening, his world will already be governed by letters, holds, reviews, and silent refusals. Marcus watches the city from above, expression calm. Brad Thornton believed consequences were negotiable. Tonight he's learning they're systemic, and once activated, they don't care who you are or what you intended. They only respond to data. Marcus's team initiates the insurance dimension of the operation, using publicly available data combined with proprietary intelligence feeds. They generate risk assessment reports flagging Brad Thornton as a higher-risk client. The reports characterize his behavior toward vulnerable populations specifically, salting a pregnant customer as an indicator of elevated liability for auto insurance claims, personal injury, and property damage lawsuits. Insurers reviewing this information would recognize the potential for multi-million-dollar payouts. By EDM, the consequences of Marcus's overnight strategy begin manifesting across Brad's financial ecosystem. Credit cards decline when he attempts dinner delivery. Bank accounts are flagged with fraud monitoring protocols, preventing ATM access. Mortgage company initiates preliminary discussions about accelerated payment clauses, potentially demanding full balance due immediately. Marcus observes with calm satisfaction. Brad's actions, striking a pregnant woman, aren't being met with vengeance. They're triggering permanent, systematic accountability through legal and financial mechanisms. Unlike physical retaliation, this approach creates immutable records, credit reports, employment background checks, insurance filings, and legal databases. Marcus announces Phase 2 to his team, preparing them for the morning. I want real estate transactions, employment opportunities, and business relationships to become increasingly unavailable to Mr. Thornton. Nothing illegal, nothing directly traceable. Just the natural consequences of being identified as someone who assaults pregnant women. The strategy leverages the interconnected nature of modern accountability. Viral notoriety gives unemployable in luxury retail. Assault incident gives uninsurable for personal liability. Publicly documented aggression gives unrenewable in tenant-sensitive properties. By 2 o'clock a.m., Brad's carefully constructed middle-class stability is dissolving. Algorithmic interventions and systemic pressure will only accelerate throughout the day. The financial earthquake has begun, with aftershocks poised to restructure his reality far beyond the possibility of apology or corporate spin control. Meanwhile, the Beverly Hills Police Department receives its first formal complaint at 6:23 a.m. Detective Sarah Mills, a 15-year veteran specializing in hate crimes and civil rights violations, reviews 17 voicemails demanding investigation into the viral assault. The TikTok footage is unambiguous. A retail manager striking a pregnant customer requires immediate criminal review. Detective Mills arrives at Gucci Beverly Hills at 7:45 a.m. before opening hours. She observes 3 news vans across the street, reporters anticipating police engagement. Transforming viral outrage into a formal criminal investigation with potential federal civil rights implications. Comprehensive video from the boutique. interior and exterior cameras will corroborate or challenge the social media evidence. At the same time, Patricia Hayes arrives early for the emergency corporate legal meeting, reviewing mysteriously comprehensive documentation that appeared in her inbox overnight, customer complaints spanning 18 months, employee incident reports previously unnoticed, behavioral pattern analyses depicting Brad as a systematic discriminator, not an isolated offender. The 8 a.m. legal conference call begins with New York headquarters, the Los Angeles regional office, and External Employment and Civil Rights Council. Chief Legal Officer Margaret Foster leads the briefing. Viral video with millions of views, celebrity boycott campaigns, ongoing police investigation, overnight documentation indicating prior inaction on Brad's discriminatory behavior. Foster summarizes. We're facing potential liability across multiple jurisdictions, federal civil rights violations, state assault charges, employment discrimination claims, and possible negligent supervision if it has shown management knew about his behavior and failed to act. Patricia presents the overnight files in neutral language, concealing their timely and comprehensive origin. The documents indicate prior customer service issues involving minority clients were only addressed with verbal counseling and mandatory sensitivity, training ineffective at modifying behavior. The legal team faces a trap. Insufficient documentation gives appears negligent. Comprehensive records gives evidence of management knowledge and inaction, amplifying liability. Either scenario heightens risk, financial settlements, regulatory scrutiny, and potential federal oversight. The corporate exposure is now multifaceted, tied to both the individual Brad and institutional failures. Brad Thornton's morning will be defined not by choice, but by the intersection of social media, law enforcement, corporate governance, and financial systems, all triggered by a single impulsive act. Brad Thornton's morning begins with a cascade of financial crises that appear unconnected but together create a nearly impossible scenario. At 7:15 a.m., his mortgage company calls, demanding immediate employment verification due to irregularities flagged in his credit profile. 17 minutes later, his car loan servicer issues similar verification requests. By 8 a.m., all 3 of his credit cards are suspended, pending fraud investigations. His bank account places a hold on his direct deposit, effectively freezing access to the paycheck he received just 2 days prior. Automated systems offer only vague explanations, citing enhanced security protocols, transferring him to fraud prevention. Specialists unavailable until normal business hours. Meanwhile, Sarah Carter, Brad's assistant manager, arrives at the store to find Detective Sarah Mills waiting in the parking lot. The detective's questions focus on witness testimony regarding the prior day's incident. Sarah understands that her account will shape both the investigation and her own professional trajectory. She provides a detailed, truthful statement. Brad became increasingly agitated throughout the interaction. The customer, Kesha, remained professional and composed. When Kesha attempted to leave, Brad blocked her path and became physical. Detective Mills records the interview, noting Sarah's visible discomfort in defending her supervisor. Her testimony corroborates the video evidence, transforming the case from a he said, she said dispute into documented assault with credible witness verification. At 9 a.m., corporate investigators arrive for their internal review while the store remains closed. Security footage from 12 camera angles provides comprehensive documentation beyond the viral TikTok clip, Brad's escalating aggression. Patterns of differential treatment based on race, age, and perceived economic status. Subtle, yet consistent discriminatory behaviors across multiple customer interactions. Investigators discover additional footage from the previous week, reinforcing the conclusion that Brad's behavior constitutes systematic discrimination rather than an isolated incident. This strengthens potential civil rights claims while undermining corporate defenses based on employee training or policy enforcement. Brad's attempts to reach Patricia Hayes go straight to voicemail, as corporate protocols isolate him from decision-making during crisis management. Even his union representative, after reviewing the viral video, advises immediate resignation rather than contesting termination. The evidence is overwhelming, public attention is intense, and legal exposure is substantial. Simultaneously, private investigation reports orchestrated by Marcus's team reach their targets. Employment attorneys receive comprehensive documentation of Brad's discriminatory patterns, Civil rights organizations receive customer complaints that were previously ignored. Local prosecutors receive analyses suggesting federal hate crime charges may apply, considering the racial dynamics of the assault. Financial pressures continue to escalate. Car and renters insurance companies initiate policy reviews due to behavioral risk indicators. Brad's cell phone carrier flags his account after automatic payments fail due to bank holds. At 10 a.m., Kesha Washington meets with civil rights attorney David Carter in Century City. Carter has reviewed viral video evidence, Brad's background, Gucci's corporate policies on discrimination and customer service. He confirms strong legal prospects, assault of a pregnant woman, evident racial dynamics, and a deep-pocketed corporate defendant with reputational concerns. The strategy focuses on pattern evidence, transforming Brad's actions from an individual incident into institutional failure. Supported by historical complaints and industry-wide trends of discrimination in luxury retail, by 11 a.m., Gucci corporate headquarters concludes immediate termination is necessary to limit liability and demonstrate accountability. Patricia Hayes delivers the termination call, which lasts exactly 3 minutes. Brad's corporate access is revoked immediately. Final paycheck will be mailed within 48 hours. Company property must be returned within 24 hours. Brad's carefully maintained professional identity is officially dismantled, legally, financially, and socially, within hours of the viral incident. Brad Thornton's reaction to his termination cycles rapidly: shock, anger, and desperate attempts at negotiation. He insists, "This is just one incident. One mistake blown out of proportion by social media. I've been a loyal employee for 8 years." Patricia Hayes responds with corporate legal-approved firmness. "Mr. Thornton, the investigation has revealed a pattern of behavior that violates company policy and creates legal liability. This decision is final and effective immediately. The termination triggers immediate cascading consequences: unemployment insurance complications, loss of health insurance, severed professional references, making future employment in retail management nearly impossible. LinkedIn activity reflects recruiters and colleagues distancing themselves from association with viral discrimination incidents. Local news coverage escalates. Reporters expand the story beyond the initial incident, examining broader systemic discrimination in luxury retail, with Brad's case as a lens. Investigative journalist Amanda Foster interviews former employees from various Beverly Hills retailers, who recount similar discriminatory incidents against minority customers that rarely receive public attention. The reporting frames Brad's behavior not as an isolated outlier, but as representative of broader patterns, though his escalation to physical violence crosses a line most discriminatory employees avoid. Coverage advocates for policy reform, enhanced training, and potential regulatory oversight. By noon, Brad's unraveling is complete. Job lost, financial stability destroyed, professional reputation obliterated. Potential criminal liability if assault charges proceed. The speed and comprehensiveness of the consequences appear driven by coordinated forces beyond his comprehension. Detective Sarah Mills completes her preliminary investigation, recommending assault charges with potential hate crime enhancements based on the racial dynamics evident in security footage. The case file will be forwarded to the district attorney's office, while federal investigators review civil rights violations that could lead to additional charges. The viral video, initially a social media outcry, has evolved into multifaceted accountability across legal, financial, and professional domains. Brad's abuse of authority targeting someone he perceived as vulnerable has destroyed his own power and status, illustrating how interconnected systems amplify consequences beyond the victim's individual reach. Investigation findings will feed civil litigation, criminal prosecution, and corporate policy reform, turning one man's prejudice into a catalyst for systematic change. By Jodian A.M. The Beverly Hills Hotel Crystal Ballroom transforms into a media staging hub. 47 journalists from local, national, and international outlets arrange cameras. Social media influencers stream live to millions. At 10 a.m., Kesha Washington enters, 8 months pregnant, wearing a navy blue dress signaling professionalism and authority, flanked by attorney David Carter on her left and a Beverly Hills NAACP representative on her right. visually framing the event within civil rights discourse. Her presence commands silence. She begins with calm authority. "Good morning. I'm here to address the incident at Gucci Beverly Hills and discuss what it reveals about systemic discrimination in luxury retail that affects countless customers who have the resources to respond as I could." Kesha's framing immediately elevates the narrative from personal grievance to institutional critique. Positioning her as an advocate for broader social change, she activates a large screen displaying security footage from multiple camera angles. She emphasizes, "This wasn't a misunderstanding or personality conflict. This was systematic discrimination that escalated to physical assault when I refused differential treatment based on my appearance." The footage plays in slow motion, revealing details the original viral video couldn't capture. Brad's escalating agitation tied not to Kesha's behavior, but her refusal to conform to his expectations. Subtle, discriminatory body language patterns, confirming systemic bias. The comprehensive evidence removes ambiguity, making it unmistakable that the incident was both racially discriminatory and abusive. Framing the public and media perception around institutional accountability rather than individual dispute. The press conference continues with security footage analysis. Kesha Washington highlights a 43-minute interaction at Gucci Beverly Hills, emphasizing the unequal barriers she faced, verification requirements and obstacles not imposed on other customers. Even after producing valid identification and legitimate credit cards, additional hurdles were created. Remaining professional under these conditions escalated the situation to physical violence. Attorney David Carter steps forward to explain the legal ramifications. "Our investigation has revealed that Mr. Thornton's behavior represents a pattern of discriminatory treatment spanning 18 months, affecting dozens of customers. This is not an isolated incident. It is evidence of institutional failure to address known discriminatory practices." Carter introduces documentation, strategically compiled and disseminated by Marcus Washington's investigative team. Customer complaint records. Behavioral pattern analyzes demonstrating systematic discrimination. Carter announces a federal civil rights lawsuit against both Brad Thornton and Gucci Corporation. The suit seeks monetary damages, comprehensive policy changes to prevent future discrimination, mandatory bias training for all employees, enhanced corporate oversight of customer service interactions, regular audits by independent civil rights organizations. Kesha resumes the narrative with personal testimony that humanizes the legal and policy discussion. "I'm fortunate to have resources that enabled me to respond effectively, but I think about the women who face similar treatment without the ability to demand accountability. Every customer deserves dignity and respect regardless of appearance or perceived economic status." Her framing positions her as an advocate rather than a victim, leveraging her experience to push for systemic reform while avoiding the impression of seeking special treatment or excessive compensation. Reporters press on the financial consequences of Marcus's intervention and the apparent coordination between Brad's viral notoriety and his rapid economic collapse. Kesha responds diplomatically. "My husband is a successful businessman who understands how markets respond to reputation and risk assessment. When someone creates legal liability and public relations problems, financial institutions, employers, and corporate partners naturally reassess their relationships." Her response maintains plausible deniability while affirming that abusive behavior carries real-world consequences, demonstrating the systemic accountability mechanisms that operate independently of personal vendettas. Representative Maria Gonzalez from the Beverly Hills, NAACP, addresses broader implications. Discrimination persists in luxury retail environments that profit from exclusivity. Practices framed as maintaining standards often function as racial gatekeeping. Federal oversight is needed to protect civil rights and prevent systemic abuse. Policy discussions extend nationwide. Mandatory federal oversight of customer service training, reporting requirements for discrimination complaints, financial penalties for businesses failing to address systematic discriminatory practices. Social media amplifies the press conference. Hashtags #luxury accountability and #retail justice trend immediately. Crowdsourced databases of high-end retail discrimination experiences grow as the digital conversation exerts political pressure for legislative reform. Brad Thornton's attempted response emerges 30 minutes after the conference. A rambling video recorded in his apartment, disheveled and sleep-deprived. Apology focuses on personal stress and corporate pressure without acknowledging the discriminatory behavior. Social media dissects every word, exposing lack of genuine remorse and reinforcing public outrage. Simultaneously, Gucci issues coordinated corporate statements, distancing themselves from Brad's actions, announcing policy reforms to prevent similar incidents, demonstrating corporate accountability while protecting legal interests. The combination of Kesha's advocacy, strategic legal framing, Marcus' systemic interventions, and coordinated corporate action transforms a single assault into institutional reform, public awareness, and lasting consequences for both Brad Thornton and the industry. The story reaches a resolution of systemic change and personal triumph as Kesha Washington returns to luxury retail under a transformed industry framework. Her greeting at Saks Fifth Avenue reflects authentic respect without artificial deference. "Mrs. Washington, welcome back. How can we assist you today?" Store manager Jennifer Kim acknowledges Kesha's preferences and shopping history, creating an interaction guided by corporate policies designed to prevent discrimination rather than performative service. Kesha requests an outfit for the Children's Hospital Charity Gala next month, specifying that it accommodates nursing while maintaining professional elegance. The conversation flows smoothly. No verification requirements, no credit checks, no artificial barriers that once characterized discriminatory retail practices. Jennifer guides Kesha through designers, fabrics, and alteration timelines, providing full, respectful customer service that reflects institutionalized training and oversight. Across the street, Gucci Beverly Hills operates under new management. Brad Thornton's former position is eliminated in favor of a team-based customer service model, removing the possibility for a single employee to wield discriminatory authority. Brad's life has dramatically reversed. He now works at a discount electronics retailer in Van NY, far removed from the economic and social circles he once dominated. His apartment is modest, furnished with second-hand items, representing necessity rather than status. Despite 18 months of credit rehabilitation, housing, insurance, and employment opportunities remain constrained. A permanent consequence of the algorithmic economic accountability orchestrated by Marcus Washington. The legal and financial resolution created by the incident enables Kesha to found the Washington Foundation for Retail Justice. 3 blocks from the original Gucci incident, the nonprofit monitors luxury retail practices, provides legal support to customers experiencing discriminatory treatment, collects and analyzes data to ensure compliance with federal oversight. Dr. Angela Torres, Foundation Director, reports measurable progress. Discrimination complaints down 67% across monitored luxury retailers. Complaint resolution times improved by 83%, showing companies now take issues seriously rather than dismissing them as isolated incidents. The foundation demonstrates that viral accountability, when paired with strategic advocacy, creates lasting institutional change rather than temporary public attention. Meanwhile, Marcus Washington continues his financial operations, now focusing on systematic economic pressure to encourage voluntary compliance with civil rights, protections across the luxury retail sector. The couple's charitable and advocacy activities include annual galas raising millions to combat retail discrimination, educational inequality, economic barriers preventing equal access to quality goods. The upcoming Children's Hospital Gala, held in the Beverly Hills Hotel Ballroom where Kesha held her press conference, features entertainment from artists supporting the retail justice movement, speeches from civil rights leaders linking the Gucci incident to broader reform. The baby in Kesha's arms symbolizes hope for a future generation. Growing up in retail environments where discriminatory treatment triggers immediate accountability, instead of requiring viral exposure or federal lawsuits, this chapter closes the arc of personal courage, institutional reform, and systemic protection, showing how one individual's response catalyzed lasting change across an entire industry, ensuring dignity and equity for countless future customers. The scene highlights lasting systemic change, personal triumph, and legacy building after the Gucci incident. Kesha Washington enters Saks Fifth Avenue, greeted by Jennifer Kim, who acknowledges her preferences and shopping history with authentic respect. "Mrs. Washington, welcome back. How can we assist you today?" Jennifer's tone reflects the institutionalized standards of respect and equity that now govern luxury retail environment standards that previously required federal intervention to enforce. Kesha requests an outfit for the Children's Hospital Charity Gala next month, specifying nursing-friendly yet professional attire, evoking the shopping trip that initially triggered systemic change across the industry. The interaction flows smoothly without verification checks, credit hurdles, or artificial barriers, exemplifying the respectful customer service mandated by new corporate policies. Jennifer guides Kesha through designers, fabrics, and alteration timelines, modeling service that treats all customers equitably regardless of appearance or perceived wealth. Across the street, Gucci Beverly Hills operates under new management following the federal civil rights litigation. Brad Thornton's former position has been eliminated in favor of a team-based service model, preventing individuals from exercising discriminatory authority over customer access. Brad himself has fallen sharply in status and fortune. He now works at a discount electronics retailer in Van NY. A stark reversal from luxury management. Financial recovery is incomplete. Rhythmic economic consequences continue affecting housing, insurance, and employment opportunities. His apartment is modest, with secondhand furniture and practical electronics, reflecting the real impact of his discriminatory behavior. This shift demonstrates how social hierarchies can rapidly reverse when personal authority exceeds institutional protection. Kesha used her legal compensation to establish the Washington Foundation for Retail Justice, headquartered 3 blocks from the original Gucci incident. The nonprofit monitors luxury retail practices, provides legal support for customers experiencing discrimination, tracks compliance with federal oversight, and measures customer service equity improvements. Dr. Angela Torres, the foundation director, reports significant outcomes. Discrimination complaints down 67% across monitored retailers. Complaint resolution times improved by 83%, showing companies now take complaints seriously. The foundation's success demonstrates that strategic advocacy can transform viral incidents into long-term institutional change. Ensuring accountability for those lacking personal resources. Marcus Washington, from his Goldman Sachs Tower office, continues operating his financial empire with a systematic approach, now using economic influence to encourage voluntary corporate compliance with civil rights protections rather than waiting for crises. The couple's charitable initiatives, including annual galas, raise millions for organizations combating retail discrimination, educational inequality, economic barriers to access. The Children's Hospital Gala, held in the same Beverly Hills hotel ballroom as Kesha's press conference, features entertainment from supportive artists and speeches from civil rights leaders, linking the Gucci incident to broader industry reforms. Kesha, holding her baby daughter, symbolizes hope for a generation growing up in retail environments where discrimination triggers immediate accountability, rather than viral outrage or lawsuits. Subscribe to Fate Tales, like, share, and comment to listen to more stories like this. This chunk completes the arc of the narrative from incident and viral exposure through legal, financial, and corporate accountability to systemic reform and advocacy, showing both personal and societal transformation.